In this WrestleTalk news, a Cody Rhodes WWE return update. Omega addresses the after All Out, Brawl Out, Fall Out, and Ollie's going to be here reviewing AEW Dynamite, so subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
Now, the last that we saw of Cody Rhodes, he was sporting quite a nasty bruise, a real purple nurple, following this torn pectoral injury he sustained prior to his match at Hell in a Cell in June. And while that injury was estimated to see Cody miss around 9 months of action, fans have long speculated and kind of hoped that Cody would heal in time for January 28th's Royal Rumble. And while this is not much more than hope and expectation on fans' parts, according to a recent interview from Cody's wife Brandi, perhaps there is reason to be hopeful. Because speaking with Steve Fall's 10 Count, Brandi gave an insight into Cody's rehab and current health. She said, all of the work that he's been doing to get back has been really good. He doesn't look like anything happened, which is crazy because he had major surgery. So he looks like the same Cody to me. The muscle mass is all there. You know, he looks really good to me, but I'm not a doctor. But that all sounds actually pretty promising. And we at WrestleTalk would in fact continue to like to wish Cody a speedy recovery, and hopefully we get to see him back in the fold in the new year. But back where Cody just came from on AEW, last night's episode of Dynamite emanated from the always raucous Wintrust Arena in Chicago, and unsurprisingly saw the Elite get a very frosty reception from all of the CM Punk loyalists in attendance, which was everyone in attendance. In contrast to Full Gear, chants of the Elite rang out, which Omega and the Bucks absolutely ate up. Nummy num num, the heat sustains. Omega also ate up Pac's arm during the match, an extremely unsubtle nod to Punk's Brawl Out tag partner Ace Steel and his bite to Omega during that backstage brawl. There were other acts of trolling too, such as Matt Jackson pretending to botch a buckshot lariat, as well as Omega hitting Pac with a GTS, served to keep the incident fresh in our memories. However, despite all of the nods to said incident, Omega's ultimate wish is that fans begin to move on from the whole thing. Kind of hard when you keep making it newsworthy. Speaking with Sports Illustrated in an interview on Wednesday, Omega addressed the backstage rumble and what he thinks should happen. He said there are things that no one can talk about, so I'd encourage people to let it go. It doesn't change that we want a team effort in AEW. I don't mean implicitly myself and my opponent. It also means the referee, the fans, the people who set up the ring, everyone. So I encourage people to move away from it because there is no information to be released. Though I cannot talk about it, I do want the fans to know I still want the best for pro wrestling. I mean, this is the thing though. Maybe Kenny's right. Maybe we should all just move on. Should we? Bollocks. Are you kidding, Kenny? This is CM Punk we're talking about. Fans are going to be chanting his name forever. Just watch any WWE show in Chicago between 2014 and 2021. You are now going to get told F the Elite every time you go to Chicago for the rest of your life. Staying with AEW, while MJF was sadly absent from his first Dynamite of his title reign last night, he has kept himself busy by way of Twitter, beefing with some of UFC's biggest stars. Now, Max has spent much of the past few days exchanging barbs with 3-0 lightweight Paddy Pimblett, following Pimblett taking issue with an Instagram story in which MJF stated that pro wrestling was more dangerous than MMA. The back and forth saw Pimblett challenge MJF to a fight at the upcoming AEW London show in 2023, while MJF responded, calling Pimblett a dollar store Conor McGregor, and threatened to show up at ringside at Pimblett's next fight on December the 11th. Now, the whole thing has garnered quite a bit of mainstream attention from outlets such as ESPN and TMZ, which has led to the real Conor McGregor chiming in on his own Twitter to take Pimblett's side, calling MJF a clown while questioning who the AEW World Champion is. Max responded by calling McGregor a roided up leprechaun and threatened to beat them both up. I mean, it's all perfectly entertaining stuff, and maybe, you never know, this could equal a lot of crossover mainstream success for AEW. Just imagine if they could get this going. Imagine the promo battles between MJF and McGregor. I'd pay to see that. I'd also pay to just see them walk at each other. Like that.
Well, that sure was a turbulent episode of Dynamite, wasn't it? What, with all the various things and stuff that happened that I sure know about, because this bit definitely isn't pre-recorded before my Dynamite review. But something you can be sure about is the fact it's Established Titles Week here at WrestleTalk. For this week, Established Titles will be sponsoring the WrestleTalk news, and we get to tell you about the great work they're doing, not just in providing a very cool gift, but their work in helping heal the planet. If you click our link in the description below and use the code WrestleTalk on checkout, you can get an additional 10% off your order, in addition to the huge Black Friday sale they're running. But what are Established Titles? based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are called lairds. You can make yourself or someone you want to give a gift a lord or lady for realsies. Purchasing a title pack gives the receiver a 1 foot square plot of land in Scotland with a certificate and crest to make their lord or ladyship official, which means you can genuinely update your credit card, plane tickets, dating profiles, and anything else with lord or lady before it. And for every purchase, Established Titles works with one tree planted and trees for the future to help global reforestation efforts, which is why we're so happy to have Established Titles Week here at WrestleTalk. The first 200 people to click the link below will have their plot essentially next to mine in Scotland, meaning we can start the WrestleTalk Kingdom and begin our plan to take over the world. And you get 10% off using the code WrestleTalk at checkout too, on top of their massive Black Friday sale. Tune back in tomorrow for the last day of Established Titles Week here at WrestleTalk. Title that title. See you tomorrow. It's Thursday, you know what that means. MJF is a heel champion. The Elite are back. The slate is wiped clean. Get ready for me to reaffirm what you already believe again, because the AEW loving Ollie Davis is back. In my review of last night's Dynamite, in about 5 minutes. William Regal opened the show to announce that MJF isn't here tonight, he's shooting a movie. Their union will be explained next Wednesday, including Regal mentioning a secret email he sent to Max only a few weeks ago, implying their heel plot was a relatively recent idea in kayfabe. It's a risky stalling tactic. The audience requires either Max to appear or for new information to be revealed to keep the storyline momentum. Instead, AEW did what they used to do, give us something even better we didn't even know we wanted. Moxley made his entrance. This poor guy is never getting a holiday and is about to just beat Regal up. Bryan Danielson sprinted down to stop him, not just as a wonderful character beat, with Danielson excellently defending Regal using his own father's, Regal's, and Mox's battles with addiction as motivation, but also as a necessary safety device, because if Mox was so much to poke Regal, he would self-combust into dust. Instead, Mox swallowed that anger, proved to himself that he was the better man, and told Regal to run and never come back. This was such a different kind of approach to a pro wrestling heel turn, really exploring the psychological ramifications, as opposed to just kick, kick, punch, punch. It was so good, it didn't make me feel shortchanged that MJF wasn't there, and it brilliantly teases his appearance for next week with the cliffhanger question, will Regal ever return? Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland decided to talk backstage, whereupon Swerve put his hand up to the camera to hide what they were discussing. We've actually got exclusive footage of what happened after that. Orange Cassidy retained his All-Atlantic title over Jake Hager in a perfectly done TV comedy match, where Hager's purple hat was actually more important than the championship belt. I groaned when the Nightmare Factory came out afterwards to continue their best friend feud, but it was the best kind of misdirect, because then the House of Black made their return and beat the shit out of everybody. Ethan Page's rise has been booked quite terribly through the World Title Eliminator Tournament, but thankfully the focus here was on Ricky Starks winning in a great underdog babyface story. He'll now face MJF at Winter is Coming in a real 100% organic, free-range, grass-fed, homegrown AEW match. Jade Cargill's next TBS title storyline is a feud with Little Bow Wow. She said no comment on that and then fired Kiera Hogan from the Baddies. And then came the second Trios Championship Best of 7 series match. 2, 3, 7 numbers with the Elite in hostile territory. As Laurie's already said, the Chicago crowd definitely booed the Elite, and the Elite definitely played up to it, with the aforementioned biting of the arm spot, the botch buckshot lariat, and Omega hitting the GTS. Cannot wait for this Omega vs Kenta match they're building. Yes, the Chicago crowd were chanting for CM Punk and booing the Elite, but it never felt like it had any actual real anger behind it. I've seen real anger with CM Punk chants. Go back and watch Punk vs John Cena at Money in the Bank 2011. The crowd are chanting his name with the same cadence as your mum. The Chicago crowd's treatment of the Elite here felt a lot more pantomime-y than that, like how Long Island cheers MJF. They're doing it to have fun, to ironically troll the promotion in an almost affectionate way. This was not AEW Chicago fanbase saying, en masse, AEW. And even if there were a few who were genuinely upset with the Elite, this match will win them over. From the athletic moves, the fun trolling in reply from the Elite, and at the end of the day, a great story. Both teams are the heels, but he who cheats last, cheats best, with Penta hitting the hammer for Pac to get the win. Death Triangle go 2-0 up, saving the Elite's first win for a more receptive venue. In another welcome bit of housekeeping, Renee Paquette then announced that Thunder Rosa would be fully relinquishing her women's championship. Not just meaning Jamie Hayter doesn't have to call herself interim anymore, it also means one fewer belt in AEW. Come on! At this rate, we'll be down to just 19 by Christmas. Jamie and Britt Baker reignited the slow burn jealousy as Britt disrespected the champion by cutting a promo for her. They worked fine together in the following three-way tag though, where they beat Ty Mello and Anna JAS and Sky Blue and Willow Nightingale. The Acclaimed revealed they're at full scissoring strength again, with Daddy Ass getting his hands back, but they got interrupted by 2009 TNA. Looks like we're getting a Jarrett and Lethal interlude for the tag titles. And the main event saw the debut of Dana White's new combat sports promotion, which is called Slapsies. This is one of the best years of Chris Jericho's career. He's had match of the night practically every Dynamite since late August, and he did it here again with a terrific, hard-hitting, mostly strike-based fight with the most underrated wrestler ever, Tomohiro Ishii. They had a quarter of a century of context behind them, first meeting in Japan 25 years ago. Consequently, they had a lot of each other's moves scouted, so they just resorted to slapping and chopping each other for 70% of the match. So many chops, in fact, Jericho either bladed or popped a blood capsule on his chest, so it began to ooze blood in a really violent visual. As usual in Ishii matches, the main story was him accumulating damage and then kicking out at one. Him failing to stand up after a German suplex, but then kicking out at one off the Lion Salt right after is pacing proof of why he is one of the best wrestlers working today. Ultimately, he got caught in the walls and then the Lion Tamer for just too long, awesomely giving Jericho the middle finger before tapping out. Not to be outslapped, Claudio then slapped the crap out of Jericho in the post-match, as they'll likely be the final battle main event. What did you think of Dynamite? Let me know in the comments, and please, hopefully be nicer again. This felt like a genuine reset show. The House of Black returned, Regal and MJF are heels, the Elite are back, Jamie Hayter is champion, all with some great storyline direction and a banger of a main event and trios match. I feel like I can see a horizon again, which naturally adds a forward momentum going towards it. For me, this is the best episode since July. This week's Dynamite is 80%. Now watch me and Pete laugh at what might be the worst wrestling debut of the year.
Scripts! That's with a Y. Scripts has debuted on NXT after a month of teases. Oh, we were so excited, mostly excited because of how much everyone's dunking on it on Twitter.
Yeah.
It was a stupid debut.